Liu Yuning did not close one year and open the next in silence. He did it with a pulse, one that lingered long after the final note faded into the air. While some people mark the turn of the year with countdowns and fireworks, Liu Yuning marked it with a stage. With breath still uneven after the last song. With a long look toward the audience before bowing softly and stepping away from the light. The year 2025 ended in thunderous applause. Applause that did not arrive overnight. It was built slowly, through long, demanding steps, through days that felt endlessly repetitive, through nights when his voice was nearly gone but the song was not yet finished. At the massive Jiangsu concert, everything looked spectacular. Lights flooded the space. The stage stretched wide. His voice echoed all the way to the farthest corners. There, Liu Yuning stood as a symbol of success, as if his entire journey had narrowed into that single, radiant moment. But beneath the brilliance, there was a quieter truth. There were moments, standing in the middle of a song with the spotlight fixed on him, when he suddenly realized how far he had come. From cramped rooms, from uncertain days, from a voice that was once heard by only a handful of people. That night's applause hit him like a wave, crashing into his chest, shaking him emotionally, almost unsteadying him, yet grounding him at the same time. Because among thousands of faces, he knew one thing clearly. None of this happened by accident. That applause wasn't only for the audience to give. It was also for himself. For the version of him who didn't give up when everything felt heavy. For the version of him who kept singing even when doubt arrived faster than confidence. For the version of him who chose endurance over fear. The Jiangsu stage became a powerful ending to 2025. Loud, bright, electric. A bold exclamation point at the end of a very long sentence. And then 2026 began quietly, with a farewell that felt warm. Not all goodbyes need tears. Some feel more like a deep breath after a long run. Crush of Music became that space, a smaller stage, closer, more intimate. There is no distance between sound and listener, between emotion and expression. Here, Liu Yuning wasn't shouting at the world. He was speaking to it. This farewell felt gentle because it wasn't an ending filled with bitterness. It was a pause, a moment to stop, not to look back with regret, but inward with honesty. The songs he sang felt like confessions. Every line seemed to say, quietly but clearly, I'm still here. I still love music, even though I'm tired. And that exhaustion was real. Physical exhaustion that settled into his shoulders and throat. Mental fatigue born from rising expectations, constant scrutiny, and a world where small mistakes often echo louder than great efforts. But on that smaller stage, everything felt lighter. Because for once, he didn't have to be an image. He didn't have to be a symbol. He didn't have to be anything other than himself. Two moments. Completely different, equally essential. One closed the year with exploding lights and roaring cheers. The other opened the year with quiet warmth and closeness. One represented achievement visible to everyone. The other carried emotions felt only from within. And Liu Yuning stood between them without denying either. He didn't reject applause, but he wasn't afraid of silence. He accepted both as parts of the same journey, a journey that isn't always balanced but always honest. Perhaps that is where his maturity now lives. He no longer clings to the need to always look strong. He allows himself to feel tired. He allows doubt to exist. He allows emptiness on certain days. But there is one thing he refuses to let go of, his love for music. Because at this point in his life, he understands something deeply true: popularity comes and goes. Stages change sizes. Spotlights shift. But the feeling of singing rarely lies. As he steps into 2026, he carries something new. Not just fame, not just numbers, not just attention. He carries certainty. A certainty born from experience, not empty promises. The certainty that music still makes his heart race like it did the first time. That every song intro still makes him inhale just a little deeper. That something inside him comes alive the moment he begins to sing. That certainty comes with an honest understanding. Exhaustion does not erase love. Loving something doesn't mean feeling light every single day. There are mornings when getting out of bed feels heavy, nights when the voice doesn't cooperate, moments when the stage feels too bright and the world too loud. But real love doesn't disappear just because the day is hard. It stays. It waits. It grows quietly. And for Liu Yuning, songs are home. A place where emotions can rest without explanation. A place where he can cry without appearing weak. A place where honesty requires no permission. Those songs hold everything: joy, sorrow, fatigue, hope, and return it as sound that can be shared with the world. Perhaps that's why so many people feel connected to him. Because he doesn't sing from a pedestal. He sings from the same ground as everyone else. There are cracks in his voice. You can hear his breath. His emotions aren't perfectly polished. And that is exactly where the beauty lives. He doesn't promise a perfect future. He doesn't claim everything will be easy. But he shows something far more important. As long as there is music, there is always a way home. As long as someone is willing to stand on a stage and open their heart, connection will always be possible. And maybe, just like in the lyrics he sings himself, the people who are meant to meet will meet again. Not always in the same way. Not always at the same time. But always at the right moment. In the next song, when the intro slowly begins. On the next stage, when the lights turn back on. On a long night, when the world feels too loud and someone presses play looking for comfort. In that moment, Liu Yuning will stand again, singing, letting his heart be heard by the world. Once more, honestly, with exhaustion unhidden, and with love still whole.